What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Zen Magic. Today we're having a very special Halloween episode. Today we are going to learn 2 of the most powerful effects that you can do. They're perfect for Halloween. That's why I put them in this video. I was kind of debating whether or not I would teach them on YouTube, but they're the perfect tricks for Halloween, so we're teaching them. So let's get straight into it. Welcome to our Halloween special. Alright guys, let's jump straight into our very first trick. This trick is called the Phantom Card. Now you may have heard of this trick before, however, the method I'm going to teach you is one that I came up with, and it is by far the best way to do this trick. I was debating if I was going to put this on YouTube or up on a magic site exclusively, but I decided to teach it in this video. It's a very simple method, and the trick itself is extremely powerful. You can do it for any number of people, it doesn't really matter. But let's jump straight into it. You would have your spectator select a card. Let's just say they select this one right here, 10 of spades, alright? And you will show it around, don't let anyone see it, nothing like that. Make sure everyone sees it, and then just go somewhere right in the middle. And then, here's where the magic part happens. You tell them to focus on the card, and just picture it in their minds, and picture it in the deck. And you're going to tell them to imagine the card flipping over in the deck. And if they imagine hard enough, it should turn itself over in the deck. And then you have them name the card 10 of spades, and they can actually take the card themselves and see that's the card it is. Let's learn how to do this, guys. Alright guys, so this is my version of the Phantom card. Now the Phantom card is exactly what you saw, it's just a trick where the card flips itself over in the deck. Now, when I first learned this trick, I ran into a couple of problems that I didn't like. The first problem I had with the deck was that you had to use a double back card, which meant 2 things. The deck wasn't inspectable at the end, and you couldn't do this impromptu. You couldn't do it with a borrowed deck, nothing like that. I wanted this to be my best routine that you could do anytime, a borrowed deck or not, wouldn't matter. The second problem I had with the trick was that since you used gimmicks, it wasn't entirely fair. As I mentioned in my version, the spectator does get to pull the turned over card out because it is genuinely their card. When there's a double backer involved, you have to take it, place it on top, and then do a double lift, and I didn't like that very much. It wasn't fair. But this version beats all of those, and it's 100% fair. You do this with a borrowed deck, no gimmicks involved. The setup is done in front of the audience. Now, in this video, if you were paying close enough attention, you probably caught a couple of things. There are only 3 moves involved in this, and they're all very simple. First thing you're going to do is prep the deck for the trick. And the way you do that is just by casually talking to spectators. Say, alright, I'm going to do a trick with, just kind of spread your cards out a little bit, all the way to the back, and then catch this bottom card and close it up. Say, I'm going to do a trick with you. Turn all the cards over. This is called a reversal. As you can see, we're reversing the bottom card, and I'll show you that again. All I'm doing, just kind of casually going through the cards, catch a break on the bottom one, say I'm going to do a trick with you, and then the reversal is you pick up all the cards except your one that you have a break set for, just flip them over casually. And now the deck looks the same on both sides. Now you're going to spread them out. They can pick anyone they want, doesn't matter. If you get a couple people that come by, try to do this, here's what I found. If you grip the cards, just kind of like grip them, they won't be able to spread them. Oops. Hold up. But they can pick any card they want. Like, let's just say they just stick with the king, doesn't matter. They'll take that card. Now, the reverse card stays on the bottom, and as soon as they pull the card out, they take it and say, you can look at it, show everyone, but don't show me. And as I say that, I turn around, and while I'm turning, I'm going to flip the deck over. Their mind will be distracted on looking at the card, showing everyone. They're not gonna see you flip the deck over like this. That's all you gotta do. Just, as you turn around, just flip the deck over and say, don't show anyone. So now the deck is reversed. But they can't know that because of this reverse card. You can take the deck back from them. However, I have run into a couple problems where people do insist on putting the deck back. The card back in the deck themselves. And this is where having a new deck comes in handy. If you grip the cards, they'll just hit them like this and it'll go right in. You can see how they just pop right in. So just kind of like grip the cards so that they can't. I mean, you'll try and get some people that try and like lift up a little bit. You don't want them to do that. That's why I say I'll take the card back, make sure, you can show it around, make sure that everyone saw it, and then we'll just put it somewhere. Don't show the bottom card, of course. Just kind of hold it right there and say, let's just put it, say that's about middle. Alright. Now, you need to get rid of this reverse card. And the way you get rid of it, it's very simple. You're going to look your spectator in the eye. And you probably saw this in the video, I don't know. You look them in the eye, and then you do a special move where, so imagine this is your leg. You're going to drop the deck down to your side. Look them in the side, now concentrate on your card. And you're just going to push this card over and flip it against your leg. That's all it is. Some decks, this will work better than others. You'll just have to practice. Just kind of, if this is your leg, you're just going to kind of turn it over like that on your leg. It's very simple. Just turn it over and then pick it up. And now the deck is completely clean. The only face down card in the deck is going to be their card. Right here. The trick is completely done. You can end it in whatever way you want. The classic way to do it is to have them concentrate on their card. And I didn't do this in the video, but this is what you would do in a performance. You would have them pretend to reach in, pull the card out, reverse it, and slide it back in. You go through the whole routine of imagine your card turning over. And it's very important that you do it this way. You want them to picture their card turning over in the deck. Then you do whatever gesture you want. Spread through, show them the face down card. And since this is really their card, they get to take it out and look at it. And then you can hand this out. They can inspect it. Whatever. It is completely clean. If you borrow the deck, you can hand it back to the owner for inspection. That is it, guys. That is my version of the Phantom card. It's a little tricky to understand in the performance I did. Hopefully I can get you guys some live performances of this trick soon, because this really is a great trick, and I want you guys to see just how effective this method is. I've only been caught twice, and those 2 instances were by people who have already seen the trick. That's why you don't repeat tricks, guys. But this trick is so powerful, when you do this version, you won't be caught ever. So that's the Phantom card. Let's move on to our next trick. Alright, let's learn this next trick. This is one of the most powerful tricks ever. You see people, professional magicians, Dynamo, David Blaine, they all perform this. This is the best trick. You have someone pick a card. I won't tell you the name until the tutorial. Let's just say, for example, they pick, I don't know, this one. Jack Spades. Alright, cool. Jack Spades. Doesn't matter. You can see that on camera. Jack Spades. Alright, and then you just kind of, let's just say they want to put it right there. So you give them one last look at it. They take it. Then you kind of put the rest on top. And then what they'll do is they'll get really low. And you can kind of show them that there are no breaks, nothing like that. And then what the performer will usually do is they'll get on the ground. And then get really close, and then they'll go watch. Focus on the card. Just like that. and the card reveals itself. Let's learn how to do this. Okay, guys. Now, this is one that I can't fully teach you. I'll show you my method, but there's really a ton of different ways to perform this. This is called the haunted deck. And the way it works is using something called invisible thread. If I take this box here, you can see the invisible thread. Hopefully on camera you can pick that out. You probably saw it on the front of the cards in the beginning, but your spectators won't. What it is it's thread that is so thin it's virtually invisible under certain conditions. See, if I lay it across the deck, you can see it like that. It's a very thin piece, and when you buy invisible thread, it doesn't look invisible. That's because this is the whole thing. To get the thread out, you take an individual strand of this, and that right there, you can't even see that on camera, but that is your thread. It's super strong. Invisible thread. And I'm wearing a black shirt, so the thread is invisible when it's against me. And this card mat, which is also black, and these cards worked perfect, except for this border, but whatever. By the way, Alpha Kappa deck. Disturb Reality. Haven't reviewed it yet, but... Oh, and invisible thread. Scamstuff.com if you're interested. Not a sponsorship, just... I've mentioned Scam School before on the channel. Go get yourself some invisible thread from there. So, the method I use in the tutorial is, since I wear glasses, I can take some wax, which it comes with the kit, and just stick it on the inside, and then wear that. But there's other ways. A more popular way to do this uses something called loops. Loops are elastic threads that you wear on your wrist, and then whenever you're ready, you just slip them onto the deck itself, and then the card would go in between, and then you can control it from there. But I'm going to show you the method I use. So the other side of the string is attached to the bottom of the deck. You can see that on camera right there, hopefully. And then this piece goes on my glasses. You can even just stick this to your skin, too, if you have enough wax. Or just tape it, really. Just kind of stick it anywhere on your body. Oh, and the length of wire, you'll just have to kind of experiment with that. You do see in the tutorials, they do get very low to the ground. If you've ever watched performances by the professional magicians. But it's just stuck on my glasses, so I wear it like that. And then I got really low to the ground. And the cord is facing me. So if I hold it out right here, there's where it's stuck. It runs all the way up here. You have them pick a card, it doesn't matter. They can't see the thread, by the way. I used a thicker piece for this tutorial and even the performance, but in reality you would use a much finer piece. In fact, just go get yourself some loops. They are a little bit expensive and they do break easily, but you get like 5 in a pack and they'll work. Once you get the hang of it, they won't break as much. But the stuff is still very fine. It can break. Hopefully that doesn't happen during your performance. But, so once they have it, I'm going to rotate the deck while they're looking at their card. So now the string lays over. I'm covering this with my fingers, though. I didn't do this in the tutorial, but you would cover if the deck is white like this on the front. You lift up the deck, have them place the card right there, and then you grab the thread, and you come over and sandwich it again. So now this is your setup. It goes around and back. Just kind of loops. Lay it. You can kind of show them if there are no breaks. That'd be better because then they can't see the thread. Lay it on the ground. And then very quickly, this isn't supposed to be done slow, otherwise the effect won't work. You're going to very quickly move your hands, and then you can show the card coming out like this. Some performers have even gotten to the point where they can clap, and then the card will jump out and flip over. We didn't do that in this tutorial, but that's actually possible if you watch other tutorials. You can probably figure out how to get it to do that. That works best with loops, though. So that is the Haunted Deck. The best street magic trick you can ever do. And all you need is some invisible thread. Go buy this. Not a sponsor. But practice this one, and soon you'll be able to perform it like the professionals. Okay, now let's learn one more bonus trick I have for you. Alright guys, so I'm going to leave you guys with something that you can use for a bunch of different tricks. This has multiple applications, and I'm not really going to do a performance of it, but this is a way in which you can force any number, and I'm calling this trick Ghost Calculator. So, here's how the trick looks, basically. Here's how it would look. A person would do a bunch of math, and they would end up with a number that you predicted. Now, how is this possible? Phone calculators work a little bit differently than, say, your school calculator. A phone calculator is by default a scientific calculator, which means it will always remember everything you did to it. Everything. Other calculators forget steps, which is why they usually don't come out to the right answers and stuff like that. But not a scientific calculator. A scientific calculator works a little bit differently. This means we can do a very special problem. I'm going to type a random number, 128, doesn't matter. I'm going to say plus 0 times. You don't really need to hit that times, that can just kind of be off too, which I can't turn off, but if I do 128 plus 0, and now you're set, you can turn the phone off and just leave it. And then you're talking with your spectator, you know, you just kind of come up to it and he's like, hey, check this out. Tell me a number. Any number you want. Let's say they say a billion. I don't know. No, they'll say 23. You say, what's your birthday? They say the 23rd. So you're going to hit times 23. So give me another one, and you can do it in front of them. Let's say they name 47 times 47. Give me another one. What's the year you were born? 23, okay. 2003. And then give me another one. How old are you? 46 times 40, 45. Okay. And I'll say, watch. I'm going to predict the number. Obviously, these numbers wouldn't come out to 128. You'd have to write, like, a big number as your prediction. But what's happening is you're adding the number to 0, and then you're multiplying 0 by everything, and that is always 0. So your answer is going to go right back to the beginning. Every time. To prove it, let's do it again. My number is going to be 156 plus 0, and then you say times 45, times that, times that, times that, I don't know. When it equals, it'll always go back to 156. Every single time. That's just the magic of the phone calculator. Android users, let me know if this works on your phone too. iPhone users, you're all set. This is just a really cool trick. Again, the number you predict, now you want to make it a big number. Like, the number you should predict should be like, I don't know, like that big. I don't know. Then you're going to do plus 0, and then just leave it. Just power it off. Go up to your spectator and say, hey. Now, I've seen magicians, and they do this with a spectator's phone, and I suspect that that involves a confederate. A confederate is a person who pretends to be a spectator, because you have to set this up like this, and then you just say times a billion numbers, whatever numbers I want to multiply, it'll always equal the number we originally determined. Go ahead, try that, guys. It has a billion applications. Just go ahead and do that. Have fun with it. Thanks for watching our Halloween special. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more content like this. And remember, you guys can always comment below or on my Instagram what you guys want to learn. You can go check out my Instagram in the description. Thanks for watching our Halloween special, and have a good night. See you next week. Remember, we perform To Amaze.